Hello, it's Renee, the Practical Shaman here, and I thought I would go live before I start my pilgrimage, which begins. Actually, there's a thing about a pilgrimage. I think it begins when you decide that that's what you're going to be doing. But I wanted to share a couple of really cool things that have already started to take place, and I haven't even gone yet. As many of you have been watching, I've been sharing the wind spirit cards. That's not what they're going to be called, but we have to have some secrets and some special things that will be announced, and they're being laid out and they're getting ready to really come to life. And what I'm most excited about these cards is that they're going to bring the winds to life for so many people. A lot of you are windies and you're already here and you really already get it, but so many people think like, oh yeah, it's just another book on nature spirits, or I don't really like the wind, but they don't really understand that coming up against this force or working with this force or being in this force is really magical, and I know all of you do. So that's one thing. But what I really wanted to share was that I had a miracle blessing happen today. So this week I received a package from Gregorio's son, and it had some death whistles in it. And I offered a course on death and dying to my advanced Windies, which are the people who have studied with me and done the apprenticeship program. And several of them have already jumped on board. And I'm going to invite some other people, but here's the prerequisite. You have to take the Windwork Basics. So if you haven't, you could go over to windwork.org this month, especially while I'm off walking, and take the Windwork Basics, because it really takes a lot of time to backtrack to explain some of that. I'd suggest maybe having the book, and I would really welcome advanced shamanic practitioners in this group as well. It's going to be a 3-hour class in July on a Saturday. I think it's the 13th, but don't hold me to that date. But if that's the 13th, is that Saturday, that's when it is. But that's a miracle, and I've already started to send out some of the death whistles to people who are signing up for the class, so that's really exciting. However, the real miracle came this afternoon when I got an email from Gregorio's son saying, I found your whistles. And right before Gregorio died during COVID, he was in the process of making me another 25 whistles. And and I knew that the whistles were made because he said the whistles were done, but no one ever, I don't know if they weren't ready to part with them or whatever, but it was like really heartbreaking that at that moment that we weren't going to get our whistles. And so today he showed me the whistles. He got as far as making them. They're not painted. And trust me, Daniel's making a really beautiful whistle. But there's something special for me about the relationship that I had with the sound scientist and then Gregorio, who started sending the whistles. And as soon as we started sending the whistles from Mexico to the United States, they uncovered Ecatel's temple in Mexico City. I mean, it was pretty profound. And soon thereafter, the sound scientist died. And I don't think it was about the whistles. I think he had done the work of bringing the whistles into the world. And then, Gregorio's brother started making the whistles. And then he passed away. And now his son, Daniel's making the whistles. And Gregorio's son isn't. He's cleaning out the house and cleaning out his father's shop. And so it's really kind of exciting, and it's a blessing that we're getting these whistles. And what I want to say was there's a second type miracle today. So when I was writing the book Winds of Spirit, it was very spirit driven, as most of you know. However, there was this one wind called Veamate that was the Latvian wind mother, and I don't know if I've shared her. I don't think I have shared her yet on Facebook. And And called up my editor, my developmental editor, and said, listen, I think this wind has to come out from the book. I can't find research. I can't find anything. And so the day after I said that, lo and behold, all of a sudden on a Latvian website, all in Latvian, there was this paper, a PhD, a dissertation in English on Latvian mythology. And it was just the source of information that I needed in order to write The Wind. And that's how the wind showed up. There was times that I said, no, these winds are going, and sure enough, they'd show up the next day in very random ways. And I know that these winds are really important at this time, and it's a long game. So I'm really excited I'm going on this pilgrimage because it's a long game. And, it's not like every year is like this fun and filled kind of thing. Last year was really hard, and the start of this year was really hard. And so I'm really looking forward to going on this, what we're calling the El Camino, with a group of women and a friend, Lori Lothian, who I met in Peru years ago, and we've only seen each other once since, and she's one of my closest, dearest friends. So it's going to be great. But let's get back to the Latvian Wind Mother. I get a email on Facebook last night from somebody saying, I really like this wind whistle. Do you ship to Europe? And I'm there like, well, sure, I ship to Europe. And I'm there like, where do you live? I'll give you 3 guesses where he lives. And so it was, so sure enough, the Latvian Wind Mother is showing me that she approves of her Wind Spirit card, and that there's going to be a wind whistle going to Estonia, which when I looked up on the Google map is right next to Latvia. So you can't make this stuff up. So if you haven't read Winds of Spirit, I'm encouraging you, it's not too late. These winds come around when it's an epoch change. And this epoch change could take, another century. So why not be in the forefront of this and grab a copy of Winds of Spirit? And if you're an advanced shamanic practitioner, join me for the first Death and Dying class. Now, what my students don't know, and they were with me for a long time, is that I've never taught this Death and Dying class, but before I recognized myself as a shamanic practitioner or shaman or whatever you ever want to label this, I was in my 20s, and my very first spiritual experience was walking somebody to the other side. And I had a lot of those experiences, but I've never felt in a position that I was ready to teach this work to other people. And now all of a sudden, it seems like the time is now. All right, I'm going to blow the wind whistle for you. This is the Daniel wind whistle. I'd show you the raw ones. I'll put a picture in the chat because I'm really excited, because I asked them, I said, don't paint them. I want to paint them. I want to get them glazed. I want to do that, and maybe I would do it in a group setting where it'll be around the pottery class that will paint our own wind whistles and glaze them. And if you are wanting to reach me over the next few weeks, it will be spotty because, my first vacation since COVID started, when a lot of people shut down, I got called into action, and it's been a busy, busy few years. So I'm really, really, really looking forward to playing in Portugal, playing in Spain, going to the beach, and finding out why this pilgrimage has been calling me for a decade or more. Okay, let's call to the wind. Let's call to the Latvian Wind Mother, Vējamāte, since she seems to be there. Maybe it's the nourishing winds that are going to be with me at this time. Close your eyes. I'm not sure if you're hearing the wind whistle or not, but know that I'm blowing it. And for those of you who are Windies and in the Wind Clan, stick with me because I am going to be sharing some videos and stuff from the road. And I really hope to take you along in my prayers. And we'll see you really soon. And much love to you all.